Hello, my dear friends. Dear friends, let's continue. Stanzas written in Dejection Near Naples. Naples, I told you, is a city of Italy where P.B.Shelley went with his second wife Mary Shelley and his sick and their sick daughter, probably Clara, who later died there in Italy, and that caused a lot of just a guilt in P.B. Shelley. Shelley was already upset. Probably he was not able to get that kind of response from the people of his own country he wished or desired. So he was already upset. Sorry, was already upset, already dejected, felt very low in spirit. So it came as another blow. The death of his daughter from the second wife came as a blow. So it made him it made him more upset and more just sad and disturbed. In the first video I had covered just the first 9 lines, means first stanza of the poem, and the 5 lines of the second stanza. So till now, or sorry, in the first video I covered first 14 lines of the poem. Now let's continue the second stanza. Let's continue with the second stanza of the poem. Remember, the poem is written in Spenserian stanza. Spenserian stanza is consisted of 9 lines. First 8 lines in iambic pentameter. Last line iambic hexameter, means 6 meter. But Shelley has given a little bit twist. Once again, I'm telling you, instead of writing in iambic pentameter, he has made use of iambic tetrameter. But last line of each and every 5 stanza is in iambic hexameter, where the rhyme scheme. Rhyme scheme is also very important, because time and again question is based in the competition on the rhyme scheme. So the rhyme scheme of Spenserian stanza: AB, AB, BC, BC, C. Remember that. So let's continue. The lightning of the noontide ocean is flashing around me, and a tone arises from its measured, means calculated motion. Motion, you can say that speed. So the poet says that he can feel the flashing of the light all around him. He is he is on the beach, or he is at a place from where he can see the mountains, ice-capped mountains. He can see the ocean and can see the waves rising and falling. And when they are rising and falling, it seems as if he is seeing or witnessing the rain of the stars, or the rain of the light of the stars. So he says that the sun rays are playing all around him, or flashing all around him, because they are falling on those waves that are rising. Sorry, my dear, just viewers. So the waves are going up and coming down in a splash of water. So it seems as if the sunlights or the sun rays are playing all around him. That's why he says that the noontide is flashing all around me. Arises, and see, and a tone, you can say that a kind of a music arises, comes from its measured, I told you, calculated motion speed. So see that the waves of the ocean, travel at a certain speed. So with that certain calculated speed, the waves are coming and breaking and falling down as if the rain of the stars or the rain of their light is coming down. He says these all waves with a certain calculated speed are producing a kind of a music. He see the glory, see the beauty of the description of the scene and sight Shelley is here witnessing, and how beautifully he is describing it, delineating it, painting it. How sweet, see exclamation mark, see the just emotion and feeling of this, of the speaker of the home. How glad he is. He wishes he had somebody to share, to witness, to experience this divine just beauty of the nature. But sad to accept that he has nobody to share. He says, how sweet means how beautiful. Did any heart, a beautiful example of synecdoche, part for the whole for the part. Heart is the part of the human body. Here, heart stands for a human, for a person. He said, did any heart means did any human now share, feel, enjoy, partake in my emotion, the emotion that is surging in him. He says, I wish I had one man, I had a person with me at this occasion to witness the glory, to witness what I am witnessing, and to feel what I am actually feeling. But Shelley has nobody. Why? Because I told you, Shelley was absolutely dejected, absolutely frustrated. He was expelled from the University of just Oxford in the year probably 18, just 11 or 13, with Thomas Jefferson Hawke for writing a pamphlet, The Necessity of Atheism, in which he had targeted all the highest authority of the university, and the result was that he was thrown out of the university. And after that, he had continually been trying his level best, particularly for revolutionizing the people, for making the people stand against all the injustices, at that all the crimes and corruption England was experiencing, or England was the subject of. But Shelley did not get that kind of a response from the people of his own country, and the result was that he was all frustrated, all rejected, and in that frustration and rejection, he left the country and came here with his own wife, with his sick daughter, though his wife was not ready to come. Why? Because their daughter was not in a good health. Even then, Shelley somehow forced her, and she came. And here, that daughter of Shelley and his second wife died, and that caused a lot of guilt consciousness in Shelley, and that's why the result of that sadness and frustration, this poem you see. So he says, I wish he had somebody, he says, I wish I had somebody to share what I am here experiencing. He says, alas, now see what, now that shift. I have been talking right from the beginning, that how the poem is shifting from the happy zone to that sad, sorrowful zone. And now Shelley says, alas, means with extreme sadness. Now Shelley says, what? See, I have nor hope nor health. See, hope, health, have, all begin with that beautiful example of alliteration. So he says, neither I have hope means now Shelley is defeated. Now he can no longer fight with the society, with the authorities of his country, and the result is that here he is in self-imposed exile in Italy with his wife. And he says, and that's why he says now he has no more hope, no more no more positivity left in him. He has exhausted all his hopes, all his positivities. And and because of the loss of the positivity and hope, he has lost the health. And both of the things are very, very important, particularly for the sustenance of the human life on this planet. So he says what? I have nor hope, nor health, nor peace within, nor calm around. And he says, since I have no hope for a change in my country, for the change in the system, for the change in administration, he says, because of that, what? No peace within. He is experiencing no peace in him, and no peace all around. A little while ago, see, everything was at peace for Shelley. But since now he is not at peace at all of a sudden, maybe he is reminded of his own failures, of his own sufferings, of the death of his own daughter, and it's all because of that, the peace that he felt little while ago in the atmosphere all around him is now gone. And he says neither he is at peace nor the nature all around him is at peace. Beautiful, see. Nor that content satisfaction surpassing means just excelling, just defeating the wealth, or that is greater than the material wealth here, just the material property. This says hermit or a saint in meditation, lost in the thinking of the God found. So he says he does not have that satisfaction, that contentment, a hermit who renounces all the worldly pleasures. And after renouncing all the worldly pleasure and getting lost in the prayer of the God, gets that satisfaction, get a kind of a satisfaction that is greater than all the wealth, all the earthly wealth. He says, I wish I had that contentment of a hermit who gets after renouncing all the material possessions of this world, all the material wealth of this world, and walks with that inward glory. And the crown the king wears, and the crown adds a lot of glory and grandeur to that king. Same grandeur and glory a hermit a hermit gets after renouncing all the worldly pleasure. He wishes to have that glory, wishes to have that satisfaction, but it seems he has been expecting or desiring something that is impossible for Shelley to get in his life. So he says, nor peace, nor that satisfaction within, nor calm around, nor that content. So nor two just lines begin with the same. Very good example of anaphora. Remember that. This line begins with nor, this line begins with the nor. See this 1, 2, 3, 4. See here the third line begins from here. So see Second and third line of the third stanza, very good example of anaphora. So he says he does not have that satisfaction that surpasses, that just outwits and outplays the material wealth of this world. The sage in the meditation found so he says the sage, the hermit, who gives his life, who devotes his life into the service of the God, in the service of the God, after renouncing all the worldly pleasure, gets a kind of a contentment and glory and satisfaction that is great, and that adds grandeur and beauty to that says the king gets after wearing the crown. So here, crown crowned means crowned king, king is crowned. So this here metonymy is here used, just you see, just a substitute name. Nor fame, nor power, nor love, nor leisure, free time or time. So see how Shelley is dejected. You see this. He says, neither I have health, nor I have hope, nor I have power, nor I have leisure, nor I have nothing. I have nothing. I do not have those things that make this human life just living worthy. He's, it seems to him that this human life is a kind of a burden for him, or has become a kind of a burden for him. So he says, I have no fame, no power, no love, no leisure, no time. Others I see whom these surround they have. He says, there are people around him who have strength, who have power, who have wealth, who have happiness, who have hope. And see how happy they are. And happily they call their life pleasure. But Shelley does not have a single reason to call this life a life full of pleasure, to live this life. So see, nor fame, nor power, nor love, others I see whom these surround. So see the next line, smiling they live. So they live in a happy manner and call life pleasure. And they call life pleasure means, very good example here, life is called pleasure means life is like pleasure, means full of happiness and joy. So good example here, life is directly just called pleasure. It means metaphor is used here. To meet that cup, to sorry me, this is not meet, my dear friends, correct it. I'm correcting. To me that cup has been dealt in another measure. Cup, again, very good example of metaphor. Why? Because life is here compared straightway to a cup full of the delicious, or full of exciting, or full of you can say full of a very tasty drink. So he says, my life is not a cup of that drink that gives excitement, joy, happiness. The cup, the life I have got, or I have been given by the God, is full of complications and problems and difficulties. My cup of life cannot be drunk, cannot be drunk to the last lees. Just as you see, you must have remembered just Tennyson's poem Ulysses, in which he wants to drink the life to the lees. Why? Because that cup of life was full of adventurous. Here his life has become a kind of a burden. His life reminds him of the failures and frustrations and so many other things. That's why he does not want to continue the life at all. See, to me, that cup means life, means metaphor has been dealt in another measure, means another quantity, or in another just calculation. Yet now despair itself is mild. But again, now he starts feeling a kind of a, you can say this, feeling a kind of a little bit relief and recovery from that frustration that is high in the third stanza of the poem. Why? Because see, one, two, three, four, second stanza. This is the third stanza. First, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, ninth. Yes, see, this is the ninth. This is the third stanza here, ends here. And here we see just right in the when the just fourth stanza begin. Now here the fourth stanza begin. Why? Because this is the last line of the third stanza. You see, it is longer in comparison with the rest. Why? Because it is in the iambic hexameter. So see, the third just stanza, the third line, sorry, the last line of the third stanza shows the pessimism, the frustration of the speaker of the poem. That is, he is on the pinnacle of his frustration and suffering. But see how there is again a shift from the just from the frustration and depression to a little bit just to a little bit positivity and little bit optimism in the fourth stanza. See, he says to me, sorry, yet now despair means extreme sorrow and suffering itself is mild, mild, a little bit relieved he feels. It seems that he's recovering. He has recovered a little from his own suffering and from his own frustration and disappointment. See this, what he says. Even as the winds and waters are, and if he feels a little bit at peace, the surroundings, the place he is sitting, the place he feels the place is also a little bit at peace. I told you, if we are not happy at all the world seems unhappy. If we feel happy, all the world becomes gay. Same is the case. So in the above lines, in the third stanza, the poet is not happy at all. Absolute. He is in absolute frustration. The world seems all around him in absolute disturbance. But with the beginning of the fourth stanza, the poet feels a little bit relief, and it's all because of that. He feels a little bit just peace or in his own surroundings, the place he is sitting or standing. So he says, now the winds are just calm and the waters, see, S is added to the water. Water is just, you know, this water is a material noun. Water just, and generally just water is singular, but sorry, uncountable. Just, but here S is added. Whenever S is added to the water, it meant for the ocean or the water body. So he says that the winds are calm, and even the ocean, means here the waves are not rising the way they were rising. Now they are a little bit at calm. He says, I could lie down like a tired child. So now here the poet feels like a tired child who plays, who does this and that, does this and that, and ends up doing nothing and feels absolutely tired and wants to sleep, to wake up refreshed. Same is the case with the Shelley. Now Shelley wants to die. Shelley wants to lie down like a tired child and wants to forget all about the frustration and failures, cares, means sufferings and problems of their life. See, what does he say in the line, last line, in this last line of this last line that I'm going to cover in this video, and weep away the life of care. And he wants to forget, he wants to get rid of, or he wants to just to forget all about the sufferings and frustrations of the life by crying and crying and crying just like a tired child. That's it in this video, my dear friends. Hope this explanation of mine will help you understand in this poem. In the next video, I'll cover all the remaining concluding lines of the poem. Thank you, my dear friends.